Hello, welcome to the programme. Slightly shorter this evening with the football coming up later here on ITV. First tonight, a care home owner has told ITV Tyne that he has real fears for the future, especially around the recruitment of staff. Care workers who haven't been vaccinated face the possibility of losing their jobs. And almost 6,500 care home staff in the North East and Yorkshire haven't yet had the jab. The government deadline is November the 11th. That's just over 2 months away. One care worker told us she reluctantly had the vaccine, feeling under pressure to save her job. We've changed her name to protect her identity, and her words are spoken by a journalist. Chris Jepson reports.
When Julie, a Teesside care worker, had her COVID vaccine, she was reluctant because of possible side effects. She says she was pressured by bosses to take it and disagrees with the government making it mandatory for carers to be jabbed from November.
I got pushed into it. I would have waited. I would have liked to have known a lot more about the side effects of it, if there's any complications. But at that time it was, here's the vaccine, we want you to have it. The government wants you to have it. You're protecting our clients, and I think it was a bit of a guilt trip, really.
What's putting your colleagues off having the jab?
I think they're frightened there's not enough known, especially now we know it doesn't last that long, and we're going to have another booster. It's going to be mandatory for all carers, but not for clients, so I can't understand how a client has more rights to a freedom of choice than what a carer does. We have as much chance of catching it off them as we have of giving it to them.
In the North East and Yorkshire, more than 76,000 people work in care homes. Of those, almost 70,000 have had at least one COVID jab. That leaves almost 6,500 people who will either need to be vaccinated or potentially face losing their jobs. Mike Padgham's Scarborough care home currently has 10 vacancies, and he's worried he'll be left without sufficient staff once the deadline passes.
We have in our own home 4 staff that don't want the vaccine. We've had meetings with them, we discussed everything. They're still adamant, and I respect that. I just worry in the future because we need those staff, and I don't really want to have to show them the door in a few weeks' time because they've done a fantastic job for us during the pandemic. It doesn't seem right. I prefer a different approach, that we test them every day and eradicate it from that perspective. So yeah, I'm not happy with what's happening. I think the government needs to rethink what they're doing.
We're very, very concerned. We are seeing exits from the sector on a daily basis into the NHS or leaving the sector completely.
A government spokesperson told us we are focusing on encouraging even more staff to get jabbed to protect their colleagues and those they care for. It is our responsibility to do everything we can to reduce the risk for vulnerable people in care homes. Come the 11th of November, carers in our region will have to make a choice as to whether they want to have the vaccine or face an uncertain future. Chris Jepson, ITV News.
Next tonight, new pictures from the site where police are searching for Claudia Lawrence. They started their search of Sand Hutton gravel pits near York last Tuesday. Claudia was last seen in March 2009. John Hill reports.
For 10 days now, this area of woods and 2 fishing lakes, which are shrouded behind the woods here on the edge of the village of Sand Hutton near York, well, they've been the focus of intense police activity in this ongoing investigation into the disappearance of Claudia Lawrence. And aerial images show how one of those 2 fishing lakes has now been almost entirely drained by the police. They brought in fire service pumps to drain out the water, and specialist search teams have been going on their hands and knees using fingertip search methods to go methodically along the bed of that dried out lake. They've been turning over vegetation, mulch and removing material from the lake bed, really trying to find some clues as to Claudia's whereabouts. But crucially, what we don't know, what the police have not told us, what has led them to come to this site in the first place. And that's not something they've told Claudia's family either. It's actually 12 years since Claudia was last seen. She failed to turn up for work as a chef at York University in March of 2009. That raised the alarm. Since then, it has become one of Britain's most high-profile missing people's case. Police believe she has been murdered. At one stage, there were 9 arrests made, but nobody has ever been charged with Claudia's disappearance or her murder. Her family, her mother, Joan, she told me last week it is her instinct that her daughter is still alive, and she says she's not been provided with any evidence or proof to the contrary that she may be dead. But for her, of course, while these searches continue and with so little information being released by the police, well, for her, the anguish, the torment goes on. John Hill, ITV News, Sandhutton.
Tributes have been paid to a 19-year-old who died after an incident outside a nightclub in South Shields. Stephen Thompson was found unconscious in Anderson Street in the early hours of Monday. He died shortly afterwards. Friends, colleagues and former teachers have paid tribute. His family say he was kind, funny and loved by everyone. A 22-year-old man has been charged with manslaughter. A review into Cleveland Police has found that it has improved how it engages with local communities. Her Majesty's Inspectorate of Constabulary identified 6 causes of concern for the force in 2019, including the issue of public engagement. Cleveland's Police and Crime Commissioner claims they are making good progress and will continue to listen and learn. Well, now to the industrial landmark on Teesside and the plans to knock it down. Dorman Long Tower near Redcar has been at the centre of a campaign to keep it as a tribute to the area's steelmaking past. And that's despite land and buildings around it being redeveloped. Now, though, plans have been submitted to demolish the landmark, much to the bitter disappointment of many. Rachel Bullock reports.
A precious monument to Teesside's proud industrial past, or a rusting boulder standing in the way of the future? Well, that depends on who you ask, although people living in Dormanstown, the area built to house Dorman Long steel workers, are clear.
Our dad was a British steel worker in South Bank. It should stay forever, to me.
My brother actually spent half his life working in there. It is part of our history, but that'll be the only reminder of what went on in this neck of the woods all those years ago.
And what went on here is remarkable. 20,000 workers clocking on every day. Dorman Long's global reputation as strong as the steel it produced. It won prestigious contracts, most famously to build the Sydney Harbour Bridge. This land is now owned by Tees Works, who've submitted plans to demolish the tower to allow for new industry. Tees Works declined to comment ahead of the final planning decision, but the demolition is opposed by Redcar MP Jacob Young, who isn't alone.
Definitely should be saved. I mean, industrial heritage is a proud part of our area. My father moved here from Wales and brought the family down when he had a job at Dorman Long. It's about the time that this tower was actually built, you know, and it means a lot to a lot of people around here.
A public notice on the planning application states that the building's been found to be structurally unsafe. Is that an argument to bring it down, do you think?
But how much does it cost to really demolish it? So much has gone from the area.
The tower isn't alone on the demolition list. Just a few miles away, work has already started to bring down its industrial neighbour, Redcar's mighty blast furnace. A move, again, in the name of progress, during a year which is set to see Teesside's skyline changed forever.
A lot of sadness, a sense of loss, and obviously, you know, lots of people will see it as the end of an era, but it's really important now that they're replaced by jobs, so that, you know, the people whose families are employed here across the generations, there's new jobs created on the site behind me, but we don't forget that heritage. That's really important. If buildings are demolished, we still need to ensure the heritage is still celebrated.
The final decision will be made by council planners next week. Rachel Bullock, ITV News, Redcar.
Now it's something that many people have been waiting to do for a long time. Pull on their wellies, get out the tent and go to a festival. And that's exactly what 7,000 people or so will be doing in Northumberland over the next few days. The Lindisfarne Festival is playing host to many famous faces, and our reporter Katie Cole is there for us now. Katie, describe the festival atmosphere for us.
Colourful and noisy. It really is beautiful here. It's been described as a mini Glastonbury festival, and we are in stunning surroundings, just metres away from the Holy Island Causeway. Campers started arriving this morning, and we were with them as they soaked up the sounds and sights of festival life. Organisers say this festival is the ultimate end of summer party for grown-ups. And after the last 18 months, they can't wait.
For the music, for the adventure of it all, you know, to live and dance through time and space together, I think it's beautiful.
Everybody's here to have a good time. It's a fun festival and it's child-free, which is a bonus.
Oh, it's Northumberland, it's beautiful. All my friends, it's close to home, it's just...
Not sitting in the car for 6 hours to get to a decent festival. Yeah, local, friendly, awesome.
Cancelled last year due to the pandemic, it was uncertain whether this year could go ahead.
And even in July, we weren't even 100% convinced it was going to happen when there was a recent spike. So biting our nails for a long period. So for the community, the people, there's so many people and volunteers who get behind. You know, we've got 400 or 500 people who work on this throughout the year. We've got 9 different stages of different types of music. We've got hundreds of entertainers and artists and DJs and musicians. We've got poetry, we've got comedy, we've got everything you can think of in terms of cultural basis we've got here this weekend.
It's amazing to be back and to see all the happy faces. Everyone's so happy to be out again. It's really nice that work's flowing and I'm able to get back to my job.
Among those getting ready to soak in the atmosphere, headline acts Dizzy Rascal and Groove Armada. It all starts tonight for these happy campers. So much going on between now and Saturday night. Away from the hustle and bustle of the music and dance, this is the healing area. Meditation, massage, and inside that tent, a yoga session underway. The first of the weekend, a chance for people to meet new people and just chill out.
Katie, thank you very much indeed. What a cool, relaxed vibe there at the Lindisfarne Festival. Looks splendid. Nothing at all intense. Let's hope the sun shines for those that are intense. Here's the forecast with Ross.
Coming up tonight.
Bringing you blue skies and sunshine. TUI sponsors ITV Tyne Tees weather.
Hello, good evening. High pressure still in control of our weather at the moment. It's been with us for a week or so now, keeping things on the settled side, but it has trapped quite a lot of cloud underneath it. Although having said that, at least something in the way of sunshine developing across many parts of the region today. Similar story tomorrow, sunny spells, settled. It's staying mostly dry. I say mostly dry because where the cloud is thick enough, we are seeing bits and pieces of drizzle, a few showers here and there. So here is that area of high pressure right over the UK, refusing to budge for now until later in the weekend and into Sunday night. We could just start to see some rain arriving from the west. But yes, for now, it's dry, it's calm. The breezes, though, still coming in from the North Sea. They're pushing in that cloud, some murky conditions developing as we head into those early hours. But with the cloud cover, temperatures hold up around 12-13 degrees, the overnight low. Underneath any clearer skies, just about dipping down into those single figures. So into tomorrow morning, as we saw today, a cloudy start for many, but as we make our way through the day, the cloud will start to thin and break. We'll see some sunny skies developing, certainly inland. As we've seen over the last few days, fresh out towards the coast, but inland highs of 17, maybe 18 degrees.
TUI sponsors ITV Tyne Tees weather.
Thank you, Ross. That's tonight's news and weather, slightly shorter because of the football. Let's finish with some sport, though. There is loads for you on the website, but we want to say well done to Newcastle's Anna Nicholson. She came 6th in the shot put in her Paralympic debut in Tokyo. The 26-year-old represents Gateshead Harriers. She works as an engineer at the Nissan car plant in Sunderland. She had an excellent competition through a season's best and is looking forward to Paris. That's your lot. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.